My mom was the most capable person in the room, always. She could outwork anyone, out-organize anyone, out-responsible anyone. She was brilliant, driven, relentless, and none of it was ever enough for her father. See, my grandfather wanted her to be a son. He got my mom instead. And no matter how much she achieved, no matter how hard she worked, no matter how many times she proved herself, she was never going to be the son he wanted. Note, he did have a son. It was just not my mom. So she kept working, kept proving, kept running on a treadmill that had no finish line. And I watched. I watched her always pushing for more, always exhausted. I watched the tension around money even when we had enough. I watched the way more was always the answer and enough was never the destination. Nobody ever sat me down and said, Salime, your worth is tied to your productivity. Nobody had to. I absorbed it. The way you absorb humidity, the way you absorb an accent. I didn't learn it. I inherited it. And I carried that inheritance for years into my businesses, into my marriage, into my motherhood. That relentless drive to prove, to earn, to never stop moving. Until one day, I realized I wasn't being faithful. I was becoming a burro de carga, a workhorse, and I was exhausted. So stay with me, friend, because the money beliefs holding you back probably aren't the ones you think. They're not what your family said about money. They're what you saw. Welcome to Freedom to Follow. I'm Salime, your behind-the-scenes mentor for building digital businesses that fund your obedience to Christ. If this is your first time here, I help faith-driven Latinas build digital businesses that create income without sacrificing family or burning out. I've been doing this for over 20 years. Stick here and you'll see why. Everything we talk about comes with a practical exercise waiting for you at latinpreneurs.com/the vault. If you're one of my regulars, welcome back. You know how we work, so let's get back into it. I need to tell you about the treadmill. Growing up, we weren't poor. We were middle class, hardworking, respectable. There was food on the table, roof over our heads. We had enough, but it never felt like enough. There was always this undercurrent of scarcity, this tension, this sense that more was coming, but we weren't there yet, that we needed to work harder, save more, push further. And the thing is, my family wasn't ashamed of money the way some families are. We didn't have the el dinero es sucio thing. Money wasn't dirty or taboo. It was something else. Money was the scoreboard. Money was how you proved you were valuable. Money was the evidence that all the work and all the sacrifice and all that grinding meant something. My mom worked like her life depended on it because somewhere deep inside, she believed it did. Her father never saw her as enough, so she spent her whole life trying to become enough through effort, through achievement, through relentless, exhausting productivity. And me, I inherited the drive, and I'm grateful for that, honestly. It's taken me far, 3 continents, multiple businesses, things I never dreamt possible. But I also inherited something else, the pushing. I push myself constantly, even on vacation, even on a break. My body might be resting, but my brain is already on the next project, the next goal, the next thing to prove. And here's the part that's hard to say out loud. I push my kids too. One of my sons is doing high school financial modeling and algebra 2 on his own. He's not in high school. The other one is doing geometry and trigonometry, and he has taught himself to code in the past 6 months. He's 13. And part of me is proud. They're brilliant, they're capable, they're driven. But another part of me has to ask, is this their drive, their God-given talent, or is it mine? Am I teaching them excellence and faithfulness, or am I passing down that old, exhausting treadmill? My husband Sam would ask me to take a break. I don't know how. My body can be in the room, but my mind is on the next task, on the next thing to do. So one night, Sam looked at me and said something I'll never forget. Salime, who are you working for now? I wasn't working for my family. I wasn't working for God. He hadn't asked me to grind myself into dust. I think I was working for my grandfather, a man who died when I was 5, a man who never thought my mom was enough, a man whose approval my mom was still trying to earn, and I was trying to earn that through her. And worse, I was putting my kids on the same treadmill. That's when it hit me, friend. The money lie I inherited wasn't money is bad or rich people are evil. The money lie for me was your worth is measured by your output. Rest is laziness. Enough is never enough. Keep proving, keep earning, keep running. And make sure your kids run too. And that lie, it was killing me and I was passing it down. So here's what I want to name today, because I think a lot of us carry this and we don't even know what it is. See, the villain isn't poverty. The villain isn't even the money is shameful message. Although that's real for a lot of you who are listening to me right now. That's real for a lot of Latinas. For me, the villain is the treadmill. The belief that my value comes from my productivity. That rest is earned, not given. That slowing down means I'm lazy, ungrateful, or falling behind. And here's what makes this lie so dangerous. It looks like faithfulness. It looks like hard work and responsibility and being good enough to provide for myself, to be a good daughter, a good mom. But underneath, it's fear. It's proving. It's running from a wound that work will never heal. But I see it everywhere. I see it in some of you, women who are exhausted but can't stop. Women who feel guilty on vacation. Women who have enough but cannot enjoy it because there's always more to chase. And the worst part is we're passing it on to our kids the same way that it was passed on to us. Not through words, through example, through the tension that you feel, through the way that you might be present, but not really. I don't want to be a burro de carga, friend. I don't want to be a workhorse who collapses at the finish line and realizes there's no finish line at all. I want to be faithful. I want to be present. I want to build something that serves my family and my calling, but not something that consumes me. And that meant I had to rewrite the script. Here's what I learned. I call it the inherited money script. And rewriting it can change everything. The first thing that I did and that I want you to do is to identify what you inherited. Not what your family said about money only, but what you saw. Did you see scarcity even when there was enough? Did you see rest, punished and hustle rewarded? Did you see someone working to prove their worth? Did you see tension, stress, fear in every season? Did you grow lacking money, so it is now everything? Or was it the opposite? You grew up that money was dirty and evil and Christian girls don't talk or think about it. What's your script? Because you absorbed it without choosing it. Question number 2, question it. Is it actually true? Biblically, faithfully true? Or is it just familiar? When I ask myself, is my worth really tied to my output? The answer was obvious. No, my worth comes from being a daughter of God. Full stop. Nothing I earn adds to it. Nothing I lose takes from it. But familiar and true feel the same way when you've believed something your whole life. So you'll have to separate them. Step 3, replace it with true. What does scripture actually say? It says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." It says that the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. It says, "Do not be anxious about tomorrow." It says, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." Nowhere does it say, "Prove yourself through endless productivity." God is not my grandfather. He is not withholding approval until I earn it. He already gave it freely. Step 4. Act differently. And this is the hard part. You have to actually live in the new, real, biblical script. For me, it meant working at a reasonable hour, stopped working at a reasonable hours, even when I felt like I should keep going. It meant taking a day off without guilt. It meant celebrating enough instead of immediately chasing for more. It meant asking myself one question. Am I working from rest or am I working for rest? Working from rest means I know I'm secure, loved, and I work from that place of peace. Working for rest means I'm grinding until I earn it, until I earn the right to stop. That's a treadmill. That's my lie. Now let me tell you about Marisol. Marisol grew up watching her dad work 3 jobs. He was never home. And when he was home, he was exhausted. The message she absorbed wasn't money is bad. It was sacrifice everything for your family, even your presence with your family. By the time she and I talked, she was a successful businesswoman and she was miserable, working 60 hours a week, missing her kids' events, telling herself that this is just a season and it will slow down soon. But it never slowed down because she didn't know how to let it slow down. Rest felt like failure. Her and I did the money script audit in a Bible study, and she identified the lie. If I'm not exhausted, I'm not doing good enough. We questioned it. Is it true? Does God measure your faithfulness by your exhaustion? So we replaced it. I can build something sustainable, and I can be present and provide. Abundance includes rest. And then she acted. She literally raised her prices. She dropped 2 clients who totally drained her. And she set a hard stop at 5 p.m. You know what happened? She makes more money now, working fewer hours. And she's actually there when her daughter gets home from school. The lie that said rest would cost her was false. She was set free. So I created something for this episode that I think it's so important for you and for all of us as we're trying to build this digital business. It's called the Money Script Audit, and it's waiting for you for free right now at latinpreneurs.com/the vault. You're going to sit down and write down what you saw about money growing up. And it's not the lectures, it's the lived reality, the tension, the patterns, the unspoken rules, so that you can identify the lie underneath, the script you inherited without you choosing it. And then you're going to question it. Ask yourself if it is true or just familiar, so that you can replace it with what scripture actually says about provision, rest, and worth. It will take you 20 minutes, but it might be the most important 20 minutes you spend this year, because you can't outwork a lie. You have to see it first. And if that money lie is not put to rest through biblical truth, as you build a digital business, you will get destroyed. Look for it. Go download it. www.latinpreneurs.com/the vault. This one is one that I think every believer must do, because every one of us has a unreal, not true money script we inherited. And if we're not grounded in the Bible for that, it will destroy you. I want to tell you where I am now. We've started from scratch 3 times. 3 times. In different countries, with different circumstances, and each time we rebuild from 0. And you know what I've learned? I've had much and I've had little, and my peace does not come from the number anymore. I'm not a burro de carga. I'm not on the treadmill. I build things that matter, and I rest without guilt. I work hard, but I work from security, not for it. My grandfather never thought my mom was enough, but I'm not working for his approval anymore. I'm working for an audience of 1, and he already said, "Well done," before I did anything. That's what my freedom looks like, friend. Not having more, not proving more, knowing that I'm enough already, and building Latinpreneurs, building Reformadas, building different platforms from a place of rest. If you grew up watching someone run the treadmill, if you inherited the never enough feeling, if you inherited the money is dirty script, if you're exhausted but can't seem to stop, this is your permission to get off. Go to latinpreneurs.com/the vault. Do the money audit script before you continue trying to build your digital business. Because if you don't put that money script to rest and you don't cover it with actual biblical truth, your digital business will become a prison and you will get destroyed. Please don't let that happen. The mission is too important. And I am praying for you. Next week, I'm going to give you one question that changed how I make every single business decision. Last month, I was in Sydney with my kids. No, in Melbourne with my kids. And an urgent email came in. And old me would have panicked, have rearranged anything, missed the moment. But new me asked one question. And that answer gave me a day back. Because again, that money script is now turned. It's now covered in biblical truth. And I don't build from panic. I build from freedom. You're not going to want to miss the next one, but please, please, please do this one. Because as you build a digital business, I want you to build from a place of freedom and peace and rest in the Lord Almighty. This is Alime, and I'll see you next week on Freedom to Follow. Goodbye.